I remember when I was doing Hunger Games, nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie because it wouldn't work. We were told girls and boys can both identify with a male lead, but boys cannot identify with a female lead.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the first badass heroines in space.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Warrant Officer Ellen Ripley in the Alien franchise is how Sigourney Weaver made her name.
Nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie.
I've really been wondering nowadays what's going on with some of these actresses and celebrities. It's like everyone is collectively losing their minds. It's like we've risen as high as we can possibly go in our current state of evolution, and people like this are proving to us that when we finally get everything we want, the only way to go is back down into insanity.
But boys cannot identify with a female lead.
If that were the case, all of the iconic movies starring female leads would not be, iconic. You know, I talked about this with someone on the internet, and they claimed that bringing up Ripley in the Alien franchise has been done to death. And I replied to them saying that this is more of a reason why Jennifer Lawrence should be ashamed to have said something like this. Because it's the first thing off to the top of everyone else's head that they think about. And that's not even the only one, Tomb Raider. As Just Some Guy and other YouTubers have pointed out, there are a plethora of female-led movies. And you know what the funny thing about it is? Jennifer Lawrence has a nerve to say that she was the first female-led action heroine or female-led character of an action movie, when technically Hunger Games is not classified as an action movie. While technically you can say that it has action in it, and you can classify it as a dystopian action film, if you're going to label the genre of a movie as an action film, technically an action film encompasses a generous amount or overabundance amount of action fight scenes, chase scenes, or slow motion shots. It is generally very fast paced, and there is barely enough downtime before moving on to the next action scene. By the Hunger Games movie's logic, I think it falls more into the science fiction dystopian adventure as it is labeled for the film series on Wikipedia. As a matter of fact, the actual novels on which the Hunger Games movies are based are technically dystopian fiction, apocalyptic fiction, science fiction, adventure fiction, YA, or adventure thriller. There's simply not enough action in the Hunger Games if you look at the general story and the percentage of how much actual action is in there. To further prove my point, I'm going to show you the copy of Hunger Games that I own, and you can see at the bottom of the screen the player head for the file. And I am moving it right now, and it's like halfway through the movie before you actually start seeing action. See, halfway is when they finally get out there and start hunting each other. And that's not even a large percentage of the action that you'll see. You don't even actually see the action or people fighting for long periods of time. There are bouts of it, but most of this is just thriller, science fiction, suspense, romance, and downtime. Maybe you'll see the occasional person run, but here you go. Going forward some more, barely any action. A lot of it's talking and hiding away and waiting for everybody else to kill each other off. And that's a far cry away from an actual, fully action genre. I don't know where this actor even came off saying that it was an action film. I would not label it as that. I mean, even Charlie's Angels and Kill Bill is more of an action film than The Hunger Games. If you want to see what an action film actually looks like for those people who actually don't know, Here is an example, and you can tell from the trailer because of how outlandish it is, this is what an action movie should look like. Explosions, fighting, guns, sword fights. I mean, it's just chaos of action, an influx of it. Here is The Transporter 2002.
All the terms of that deal cannot be changed or renegotiated.
Frank Martin is the best in the business.
75,000, half now. Why'd you try to kill me?
You broke the rules. You opened the package.
That is the trailer for it, but as someone who's watched these movies, because my dad is a really big action fan, I've watched them with him, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that it's so outlandish that it actually borders on lunacy. I think that's one of the movies where the guy, the main character Jason Statham was playing, was driving his freaking car on the side, on the windows of a skyscraper. That is what an action movie is. Hunger Games is not.
Nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie.
What actually baffles me to no end is that an actress who has come after many other actresses could claim that she is for supporting women and women's rights and whatnot, and says lines in movies that have nothing to do with this, that are so cringeworthy, like this.
It's funny. I can't actually remember the last time you were the one risking something. And by the way, the women are always saving the men around here. You might want to think about changing the name to ex-women.
And yet she diminishes and devalues the accomplishments of so many other women who came before her. She disregards these ladies as if they don't even exist. It requires only a Google search. You need simply ask one other person in your circle of other actors. It's not that difficult. And she has come on here and made a fool of herself and also have completely contradicted herself. You know when people make jokes about actors being empty vessels? Like, I get it sometimes, because that's literally their talent. Their talent is to pretend to be someone else and to take direction from someone to build them into a character. Some people can exist outside of that and be their own people, but sometimes other people get lost in these characters, and so when they're not playing them, they have no idea how to function as an actual human being with a working brain, because this just ain't it.